Hey, lifers, and thank you so much for coming into the living room with us for another episode of the podcast because life can be a niche. For those of you listening, wherever you get your podcasts, thank you for listening. Please come on over, hop on to the YouTube channel, Life Can Be a Niche, and actually watch it and subscribe. We would love to have you there as well and just riding with us. Our tea of the episode is sweet tea, because that's what I'm having. I went to one of my favorite places, restaurants. I gave up meat, so I took the family to Guthrie's, which I love, but I've given up meat for 60 days, so the only thing I could have was sweet tea and french fries. That was good enough for me, so I'm still sipping on some of my sweet tea. That is the tea of the episode, because I'm a Georgia peach, and what do Georgia peaches do? We definitely drink our sweet tea. So get yourself some, sip, enjoy, because this episode is very powerful and one that's so important. It's a conversation that needs to be had on so many levels. And it's about healing, normalizing healing, and dealing with getting out of relationships, specifically getting out of a marriage that is no longer working, and just hiding it and trying to avoid the reality of what you're really dealing with. I speak with blogger extraordinaire and special guest Crystal McGuire, and this lady is just amazing. She's a mompreneur, an educator, and she started a nonprofit called Normalize Healing. You'll hear more about that. I'm going to have more in the show notes, but her story and her truth is something that every person needs to hear, especially if you're going through something or you're in a relationship and you're in a place where you know it's not right, and you're trying to keep up that facade of things being right when you know they're not. This is a show for you, and it's about healing and being whole and truth and relationships and everything all rolled into one. And I'm so grateful to this sister for blessing us with her story and for her truth and being honest. And I hope it blesses you just as much. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Crystal, thank you so much for coming on the podcast because life can be a niche. I am so excited to have the blogger extraordinaire herself, Crystal McGuire, with us today. We're going to get into some real conversation.
Okay.
And just get down to the nitty gritty. We're not even going to waste any time trying to set nothing up. Let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get started and start talking. So, Crystal, you want to tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I am born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Product of Atlanta Public Schools, Spelman College, master's. I went and did it all, and now I'm a teacher. So education wise, I'm finished. I'm done. And so now I'm a teacher, and my focus now is definitely on my 3 beautiful daughters, and getting my story out there so that I can let other women know that you're heard, we hear you, we care about you, and it's okay to come out of relationships, female, male friendships that aren't good for you. And that's what I did. That's what I had to do. I had to come out of a relationship that ultimately was not good for me.
Right. And I'm so glad you said that it's okay, because sometimes I feel like there's this guilt or this stigma that people, especially women, have when something's not right. We just continue to kind of make it work, or we try to make it work when that's really just making it worse.
Absolutely.
And end up in a place where you're like, how in the world did I get so broken? How did they even get here? But anyway, we're not gonna jump ahead. We're gonna just walk through that and talk about that. Now, you said in here that you are getting your story out there. I know you blog. Is there a book that maybe?
No, there's not a book. I do get people telling me, "Girl, you girl." So, I to be honest, I don't even know like what avenue to go down to turn
Mhm.
this into a book. I definitely, it would absolutely be fiction. I mean, everything is real.
Right.
Everything happened.
Hmm.
Um, and it's like sometimes I'm wondering when I write, am I even including how I'm healing from that? Or when I'm writing, is just writing about it, the healing piece. Because sometimes in some of them at the end I'll say, but I'm healing from this by doing this, or I'm healing from it by doing that. And then
Hmm.
sometimes it's just a period. It's just it's the event that happened.
Hmm.
Um, and then that's it. I don't talk about how I heal from it because the writing is healing. So
Yes.
I wanted to make that clear as well. Like sometimes when I just write and I don't put that piece in about how I came out of it or how I'm
Mhm.
coming out of it, it's because writing is freeing for me.
Yes.
So
I
basically, that's what this blog is for me. It's freeing for me. It just allows me to open up and to just pour and honestly, I was just pouring everything into this World Wide Web. But
Mhm.
then somebody said, "Hey, I read your blog and it set me free," or "Hey, I read your blog and it spoke to me." And I
Right.
was like, oh, like people really read it. Like, oh, okay, this is something. So
Hmm.
then I started putting out a couple of more here and a couple of more there. And it was like, wow, I can't, your story gives me chills, or I can't believe you went through that. Because what I put out there on Instagram, yet what was going on in the house, those were two totally different things. Two
Right.
totally different things.
Yes. We're going to talk about that because, and that's how I found you because a girlfriend of mine
Mhm.
said, "Have you seen this blog? Girl, it's so good. Y'all need to talk." And I was like, and when I read it, I'm like, oh, and that's why I thought book because when I looked through your post, I was like, oh, this is so good because it is freeing.
Mhm.
And we can talk about the book piece because I know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
Okay.
So between all the people that we probably both know, we can talk about that too because that I don't know. I just see that. I just see that that could possibly
Thank you.
something beyond the blog for you. I'm just gonna speak it into existence.
Thank you.
Gonna see where that's gonna go. We're gonna talk about that, but let's start off with your story
Okay.
because that I think is and you share, what you want to share, what you feel
Okay.
comfortable sharing, but what what happened to get you to this place of now you have a blog about it? What happened in before
Um,
that led you here?
so this is like a 10-year story. I got married at 25, 26. Instantly out the gate. I was had already had the baby when I got gotten married. And I looked at him like he was Superman. Like I did. I put that and I would whenever we would go somewhere and he would do something or something heroic, I would say that's why he's my Superman. But um on the inside of our home, it wasn't like that. I was Superwoman in here.
Mm,
Um he was an alcoholic. I mean, I was, dealing with alcoholism. I was dealing with um foreigners who don't necessarily believe in getting help from the
mm,
outside. You see what I'm saying? So then everything is sealed on the inside, literally and figuratively, meaning everything that went on in the house stayed in the house, and everything that went on with him stayed with him. So
mm,
there was no helping him. And there was no help coming into the house because we couldn't talk to anybody. So yeah, so we just dealt with it. And then of course, then I had another baby, and I kept dealing with it. And instead of finally dealing with him, I just dealt with being a mom. I just put my focus into what I knew I could get something out of. You know, like when you're a mom and you're doing right by your children, you see it coming to fruition. I felt like I was being a good wife. I believed I was being a good wife. People that knew me would say, you know, geez, you're an amazing wife. But then when your husband doesn't, you know, when he doesn't say thank you, something simple like that. Or when he just doesn't come and say, I appreciate you, or you are a good wife, then, you know, you're not seeing it coming to fruition. You're not seeing anything that you're doing because it's not validated. And women need to be valid. Wives need to be validated.
Absolutely.
So, and there was nothing was validating. His actions weren't validating. What he was doing with his life wasn't validating. So I didn't even see myself making a difference in his life. I could see myself making a difference with my kids. You know, they got good grades. They were respectful children who could go out with other people, and they sent them home and say, your kids are awesome. But with him, you know, what does he come home drunk? He comes home, you know, quiet, stoic, nothing, violent sometimes. You know, I didn't see anything from me coming out of him. I didn't see how I was helping him flourish.
Right. You didn't see yourself as the helpmate
at all.
Was it always like that, or
so I'm not sure. I don't know when the blinders fell off. I know that I put so much of myself into my marriage that I believed at one point it was good. You know, I believed it. We went out on dates. We had 3 kids. Right. You know, so I mean, at some point something went well.
Something was going good.
Right. But but when those blinders fell off, that was it. You know, once I said I was done, I was absolutely done. Yeah.
And that's, so tell me, how long did it take you to get done? Like,
whew, okay. I saw one of your questions that said if I had to say something to my younger self.
Yeah.
What I would say to my younger self is to listen to my mom and listen to my grandma, listen to those elders, who some don't have to be in a marriage for 50 years to tell you how a marriage can go. They can be single.
That's right.
And still know exactly, you know, like, this ain't right, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's right.
So it would be listening to my mom, and it took for my mom to pass. And at that point, I was married for 10 years.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, my mama never liked him. She never liked him. Ever. And so I should have listened to her. I should have listened to her. But like my best friend tells me, had I listened to her, I wouldn't have my other 2 girls. He was the vessel that I needed to get my kids here.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the vessel I needed to get the kids here. So, but it was right after she passed in 2019 that I realized you know what? To be very honest with you, I didn't have anybody to prove anything to anymore.
Oh.
I didn't have to prove it.
That's a mouthful right there.
Yeah. And I didn't have anybody to prove anything to anymore. She, you know, I don't have the mom. I can make it work. I can do it. She was gone.
Right. That's right. And so with her not being there, as the we can make, because sometimes I think deep down we know something may not be all the way right. We know inside. We may never say
Mm-hmm.
it out loud,
Mm-hmm.
but it's almost like when you get to that point
Yeah.
where like, what, I don't have to do this anymore. That's when I don't know, it hits you like you give yourself permission
Yep.
to be truthful with yourself
Yes.
and then go ahead and say,
Yes.
what, I don't care
Yes.
what people think. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter to me.
And
Nobody's living
the
this.
Yep. And the biggest thing was that when my mom passed, the depression and the anxiety hit like a wave.
Mhm.
It was just like boom.
Right.
And it's like if you're not in my life to help me out of this hole, then you can't be down here with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
if you helping me dig this hole, you got to come out of here. Like I can't, I need hands pulling
Right.
me out. Not
Right.
pulling me in, but pulling me out. So,
Exactly.
and that was what the thing was. I knew I didn't want to stay there. I knew I didn't want to stay in that depression. I knew I couldn't stay there, but I also knew that that was a part of the grieving process.
Right.
So I needed that help through the grieving process, and
Mhm.
I wasn't getting that from my spouse.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't at all. So yeah.
How, I guess I can ask the next question then is, when did you notice that you weren't being honest with yourself or others about your situation? Was it when your mom?
It was like I said, everything definitely hit in 2019 when my mom passed. I think the day that I knew that I wasn't being truthful with myself is I couldn't get out the bed. I just could not get out the bed. And he got up and left, and I said something to the effect of, it's just this is so hard. And his response to me saying something like that was, and I'll never forget his response was, "It's people out in the world who are going through worse than you. So at least you don't have it as bad as they do." And I didn't care about other people out in the world.
Right,
You
right.
know,
This me.
other people in the
My
world
problem.
are
Right.
not my problem.
That's
My
right.
problem is big enough for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
So, that was the big piece there. Like,
Mhm.
oh, it's people out in the world going through worse than you. Yeah, well, I don't care about people out in the world.
Right.
So, and that's when the blinders fell off. Like, he's never gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
You can fight, you can push through, you can stay married for however long you want to, but he's never gonna get it. So
Right.
yeah.
And that's hard too, because I guess when we're in marriages and you know that it's slowly deteriorating, because
Mm-hmm.
because people are like, well, what happened? You can never say one thing that actually happened. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
what didn't happen. That should be the question. Is not, what
I
happened, because
always
it
say, how
was
much time do you have?
not. Because it just snowballs and
Yes.
snowballs until I,
Mm-hmm.
I think people who have never been through divorce don't get it. Like, because, I think when you're dating, it may be an incident, or maybe you found something on somebody's phone or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a marriage,
Yeah.
it's literally just like the books say, like the bank deposits and the
Yeah.
withdrawals, and it's withdrawal after withdrawal after
And
withdrawal.
next thing you know, you in the negative.
Girl, you in the red for real.
Next
They
thing you
see
know.
shadows and everything. Your card
Mm-hmm.
is denied,
Denied. Yep.
all
Yeah.
of that, and it's just, it's like nobody goes into a marriage planning to get out.
No.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a strategy, and you don't have an exit strategy. I mean, let's speak for us. I didn't have one.
Neither did I.
like, okay, I'm gonna be married forever because my parents were married forever. His parents were married forever.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's like, well,
Yep.
shoot, we got good stock. So
Hmm.
surely nothing is gonna go wrong. And when things start going wrong, and then the kids are there, because I got pregnant 3 months after I got married too. So same thing, I'm momming now. And
Hmm.
all of my energy went into being a mom. And by the time you get to that point where you're saying, oh, well, we're going through a divorce, and people are shocked. Like, what do you mean? But what they
Hmm.
don't know is that things have been happening over time. And like you said, the Instagram posts look
Amazing.
yeah.
Couples goals.
Right. See, I didn't even put mine out there on social media. I'm probably old,
Mm.
Crystal, so I don't even remember. I mean, I think I put my firstborn son's photos on Facebook maybe once, but I never posted about relationships on social media.
Mhm.
But if I had, it would have been the same thing.
Mhm.
Couple goals, because you would only put the highlights on there.
Right. That's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Nobody's gonna put the other stuff. So
Mhm.
it's accepting that yourself, and then being able to actually to say it. Do you think that you, in dealing with your children, how do you think that impacted your decision? Was it difficult to walk or to decide to leave?
I think in the beginning I was very concerned about the girls.
Mhm.
Um, but then I realized when I was sitting in this closet with the door closed in the dark that, thinking about taking my life, that it was
Mhm.
no longer about them, but it had to be about me. And if they need a mom, these girls need a mom
Right.
who's going to be there for them, help them, raise them, rear them.
Mhm.
And if I'm going to be here for them, then I got to go all the way. I have to go all the way. So I had to turn this into, what are you doing this for the kids, or are you doing this for you? And I needed to do it for me, because if I did it for the kids, I would still be unhappy. I would still be married.
Mhm.
I would have figured out a way to make it work.
Right.
Um, but I had to go for me.
Mhm.
So yeah, I couldn't. The only thought for the girls was the fact that I knew the girls needed a mom.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hmm.
When you say you were actually thinking about suicide,
Hmm.
it had gotten that bad?
Oh my
Was it
goodness. Like I said, it was him being very closed off at this point and just walking around the house. And then it happened during COVID too. So during COVID, he stayed home
mm-hmm,
12 hours a day and then would get up and go party at night, and then would come home and not open his mouth during the day.
mm-hmm,
And it was just too much. It
right,
was too much. And then I was depressed because my mom had passed.
right,
Um, so it was one thing after the next. It was like, you can go and party at night and be fun at night with your people. But
mm-hmm.
then when you come home, you only talk to the girls. Yeah.
Oh,
So it was just cruel. It was
yeah,
just cruel. Yeah.
yeah,
So and then I started to feel unworthy. Well, maybe I'm not, I started to feel like it was something wrong with me. What's wrong with me? I'm trying to make you happy. What,
right.
is it me? so yeah.
That is that's a lot. Do you think he knew that
No.
he had no clue? Like his emotional IQ was not even
No.
tuned in.
No. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Because when I made the comment that I know that you're not happy, what
Mm,
can I do to make you happy? His response was, "You need to stop worrying about my happiness and worry about your own."
Ooh.
Then my response was, "Then you can't stay here. Then you have to go." So
Hmm.
yeah. I knew immediately as soon as that came out. Then my response immediately was, "You can't stay here."
So there wasn't any type of let's get counseling, let's work
Oh,
together. There was never
not
an
on his
effort.
end.
Okay.
Uh
Okay.
uh. Uh
I get that because everybody tells you, you know, when you get in a relationship, you should make sure you're happy first and that you're whole, that you're responsible for
Mhm.
your own happiness.
Mhm.
But when someone's actions are impacting your ability to even have a positive attitude and to thrive, that's totally different.
Okay.
That's, you know, I think that because people are, yeah, he part of what he said might have been halfway right. You
Mhm.
know, you should be concerned about your own happiness, but the issue is, no, dude, I'm concerned about this marriage. I think
That's
that's
it. That's it. Yeah, because that's the current relationship I was
right,
in.
right,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And when you're not being met, then
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Do you think um do you think that there was anybody, I know you said when your mom passed, that really pushed you into really the blinders came off and you were like,
Oh my goodness. Yes. My sister. My
okay.
sister was right here the
Mhm.
entire time.
Okay.
By my side, cheering me on. I mean, reminding me of why I needed to, when I went to bed, wake up in the morning.
Mhm.
Even now, even to this day, my sister, as soon as he left, my sister was like, "You're not doing this by yourself. I'm moving in." And
Oh.
my sister moved in. So yeah,
Mhm.
if I yelled out right now, sister would come and get on the camera. And I'd be like, "This is my sister, KD." Oh boy.
You're gonna have to let her come up here before we finish. You're gonna have to just let her just peek in or wave or
Oh,
something.
absolutely.
You know what?
Absolutely.
That is beautiful. But I mean, being my sister's keeper. So now, when she said that, did that give you the courage to go ahead and make the call the lawyer or whatever you
Listen,
did?
I was in the hospital pregnant. Um, in the hospital pregnant, and my sister's a Delta. So my sister
I
had,
saw her.
yeah, yeah. See, I'm gonna have, now you gonna make me call her early.
You gotta call in. You gotta get my sorrow up in there. But we in time. You go ahead and tell us
You gonna
because
make
we'll
me
be
call her to
fine.
come now. Um, so my sister's a Delta, and they have a group me, and she just
Mhm.
put in group me, what she needed. And I mean, they you know how Deltas are. They instantly
Yeah.
responded. Like, I got a great lawyer, great lawyer, great lawyer. And we
Mhm.
started calling them in the
Yeah.
hospital, while I was laying on the bed interviewing lawyers. So yeah, but she was on it. She was on it. She was refusing to let me do this by myself.
Mhm.
My best friend refusing to let me go through this alone. I mean, at any point, what do you need? How can I help? I'm right here. I mean, she was a best friend when I needed a best friend. My family
Mhm.
behind me 100%. Do what you have to do. You got this. You can do this.
Mhm.
People raise kids as single parents all the time.
Mhm.
So and it helped. I had a therapist who I
Okay.
went to weekly.
Yeah,
Weekly.
girl, say that louder for the
Yes.
people in the
Yes.
back. Therapy is
Yeah.
a beautiful thing.
Yes. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a needed thing.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yes. I went to her weekly,
Mhm.
and I wrote. And then I had a journal and I wrote.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I would say too, I think when I finally knew that the marriage was over, the journal was my thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did, because I don't know about you, Crystal, but I found that I was more honest
Mm-hmm.
when I was quiet and was writing. I
Mm-hmm.
even do my prayers like that. Like, I'm more honest
Mm-hmm.
with God when I can just
Mm-hmm.
write to him and tell, like he didn't know, but still, sometimes when I'm just sitting down talking, you like we do in real life, we may edit a little bit, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well,
But when
I
you
ain't
write,
say
you
that
just
loud.
getting it out.
Yes, because it comes from right here.
That's it.
And it goes from your heart to your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing that ever since. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, let me just write it down, because then
Mm-hmm.
the crux of the matter will come out when I keep my mouth shut and don't think about what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it
Mm-hmm.
go. And then you mentioned something so important, is that you had a support system
Mm-hmm.
and a village. Did
Mm-hmm.
they know? I'm sure your sister did, but did your best friend know how
No.
bad it was before you?
Mm-mm. No, when I started telling her, she of course was heartbroken.
Mhm.
But she, after the initial shock, it was okay, you got this. You
Mhm.
did the right thing. You got this. Don't
Right.
stop now. Keep going. You got this.
Mhm.
So that was what happened afterwards, right after. It
How
was
long?
instant
Okay.
encouragement.
I was gonna ask too, with the kids, how did you break it to them? Because did they just see happy mommy and daddy, or did they notice?
They saw stuff, unfortunately. They saw things. Even when the initial breakup happened, they saw things.
Mhm.
But I tried to do exactly what my therapist did, and just say as much as I could in front of him. But eventually, he's the type of man that if he can't get what he wants his way, he's out. So he's out. The children hadn't seen him in a year. So he left.
Oh,
So now everybody's the whole house, everybody's in therapy. They go
right.
to their own therapist.
Yes. I know.
So yeah, so that's how that had to work. That it had to go that way. Like,
Yeah.
either you let these kids sit here and figure life out on their own, or you get them some help. And
Hmm.
I had to get them some help because I can, if I need help, they need help.
Right. That's
So
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I took my 12-year-old to the therapist this morning.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did the same thing. Is I got them therapists.
Mm-hmm.
I had a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
It was necessary, and I think that was one of my questions. And I like how you write about it in the blog about, what we actually ask for, what we say we need. But I've noticed, like, therapy has become more and more mainstream and acceptable in the Black community
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
But even still, it's still a newborn in this whole situation. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
this is something that was encouraged, because I don't know about you, but I grew up in an era where it was keep your business to yourself.
That's it.
What goes on in your house stays in your
Stays
house.
in your house. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the whole time, though, what's going on in your house is actually killing you.
That's it.
And you're not even saying, you don't even have anybody to help you navigate through it, or even to have a outside party who's not going to take a side, but
Mm-hmm.
literally just help you get out what it is going on with you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I'm glad to hear you say you did it, because I did the same thing with my sons. I was so worried about
Yes.
how they were going to deal with it, because
Mm-hmm.
kids, and everybody kept telling me, well, not everybody, a lot of people kept telling me, kids are resilient,
I don't
kids
want
are
to hear that.
strong, kids are this and that. But you know
Mm-mm.
what? That's not what I saw in my book
Mm-mm. That's
when we
it.
told them. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
at first,
They can adapt. And
yeah,
I don't want
no,
to hear that. Yeah,
no,
no.
mm-mm.
Uh-uh.
I'm with you.
They
I'm
need
like,
the help.
yeah, because if we need
Mm-hmm.
help adapting,
They need help.
They definitely need help
Mm-hmm.
because everything they knew growing up has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Even
And the
this
thing I
phone.
say about kids being resilient and adapting, we don't throw them out there in the world and let the world grow them up. We
Right.
send them to school.
That's right.
You
Exactly.
see what I'm saying? Because they
Right.
need the help.
Yes.
I'm
That's
not
right.
going to allow this situation to grow my kids up. I'm going to allow them to be in it, feel what they feel, and they need to talk to somebody because if they don't feel like they can come to me and I don't know if I have the tools to help them, then I'm going to send them to somebody that does.
That's right. Exactly. I
Mm-hmm.
agree 100%. Um, is there with your kids, have they ever had moments where you regretted being divorced, where they're like, "Oh, I miss daddy," or have you ever felt that a little bit?
No, but they do miss him and they're
Mm-hmm.
allowed to. I will hope that they do. It shows that
Mm-hmm.
they have feelings, but um they're missing him. I don't that doesn't have anything to do with me.
Okay.
Because
Mhm.
he can listen. I tell these girls, I wish he was in here. I wish he was here because I'm with you all 24/7. Yes, if y'all know anybody that know him, come get them. So, but yeah, because it doesn't have anything to do with me. That's not a me
Right.
thing. That's a
That's
him
right.
thing. Be a father.
Hmm.
Be a man.
Right.
So yeah, yep.
But you said something very interesting about the situation, and we're not gonna bash him or talk about him or whatever. We're just telling the truth. So
Mhm.
don't y'all be like, "Oh, y'all talking." No, that's not what we're doing. We're getting to what leads to this. I was talking with my best friend about you marry people and you think that they are whole, but a lot of times you're dealing with a broken person.
Yes.
You didn't
Mm-hmm.
even know it. They
Mm-mm.
may not have even known it, in all
Mm-mm.
fairness, until something hard happens, until they lose a job or until,
That's it.
someone dies. And then that brokenness just
Just comes
continues.
into fruition. It just
Yeah.
manifests. And it's
Yeah.
so crazy that you say that because it took, unfortunately, for his mother and his father and his sister, they all passed in Haiti right around the same time.
Oh my goodness.
And when he came back from Haiti, he was not the same person
Mhm.
before that
Mhm.
happened.
Right.
And the brokenness that was already there just manifested.
Hmm.
And there
Right.
was nothing I could do.
Right. That's right. Because you cannot put somebody back together. They gotta want to be together. But if he was so
Mm-hmm.
private and
Mm-hmm.
closed off,
That's it. Yep.
then
I
your
was
hands
going
are tied.
so far as to, let's go talk to our pastor. You go talk to the pastor. I was trying to put other men in his life,
Mhm.
but I'm not a man. Number one, I'm not a man. And number two, if you won't allow me to come in, then I can't help you.
Right.
So I just stopped trying because after a while, I was just pushing myself on him.
Right.
So, and I mean, that's unnecessary, you
Hmm.
know. So
Right.
either they're gonna walk or they're not gonna walk. Either they're gonna want the help or they're not gonna want the help. So
That's
hey.
right. Exactly. And you
Mm-hmm.
can't make anybody as
Mm-hmm.
much as you want to. You
You
can't.
can't force it.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. And that is so. I think a lot of us women too. We go into things sometimes and when we know we're not whole, or we know we
Mm-hmm.
got this, we hurt over something else. May not have anything to do with a relationship with the opposite sex. You may be hurt over a parental relationship or
That's
hurt
it.
over something else, and you walking around with this. It's almost like you're walking around with a hole in your heart
Mm-hmm.
and nobody can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking, but that nobody will feel it. You can't feel it with drinking. You can't feel it with, drug abuse. It's all that's temporary. At the end of the day, when you go to bed, the whole
Mm-hmm.
thing. So
Yep.
that's the sad part that I don't think a lot of people talk about. So if you were giving advice to a young lady who was about to get into a marriage and, thinking, okay, this is it, what would you say to her?
Trust yourself is number one. I think that's something that I definitely walked away from myself. I stopped trusting
Mhm.
myself.
Mm.
And I started believing that he was the end all and be all. And I couldn't do anything without him. But I had to learn how to trust myself, and believe in myself.
Mhm.
Um, I would say to them that regardless of who is in your life, from your spouse or your mate to your children, please make sure that after God, you are the next thing in line.
Mm.
Because you can't live for anybody else but yourself. You can't make it for anybody else but yourself.
Mhm.
Because if you can't take care of yourself, then you cannot take care of anybody else.
So true.
That's period. That's
Yeah.
that, like the kids say, that's on that that's on point. That's on period.
That's right.
My
Yeah.
12-year-old
No
says.
cap. Yeah, they always
No,
say
no
no
cap.
cap.
No capital, not, and I'm always no capitalization.
Yeah,
So and that's serious. If I don't pay this mortgage, I don't have anywhere to live. But guess who else don't have anywhere to live? My kids don't. If
yeah.
I don't take care of me and my temple and myself, then
Mhm.
I'm no good for me, and that means that I'm also no good for them.
Right.
So we have to do for us first. We really
Mhm.
do. I mean, women, we have got to normalize women putting themselves first.
Yes.
It is okay.
Yes.
It
Stop
is,
feeling guilty about it.
yeah, stop feeling guilty about putting yourself first. Because
Mhm.
if we don't, then we are no good to anybody else. I don't care who it is. And so that's something that I had to learn, because even it was even this past Christmas 2020, that I was sitting on the sofa watching the kids open presents and just cheesing and smiling. And my sister was like, "Sister, where is something for you?" Oh, as long as the girls are happy, I'm happy. And she was like, "That's not how that works."
Oh,
Just, and then she gave me a present and was like, "Here, Merry Christmas." And
right.
so, like, so now Christmas 2021, I will have a couple of things under there that I want to unwrap for myself.
Right.
Like,
That's right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly. Yep.
because I have to take care of myself,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
and
that's
be
right.
okay with that. So,
Yes. I did that, Crystal, for the first time, I think, last year. And it was because of everything that was going on with the panoramic and people, being sick, people we knew close to us dying. It was so many things happening that I said, it was my birthday, was the first thing. I said, you know what? I'm gonna buy myself something for my birthday. Because this is something I never do, because we saw every day we turn on the news and it was like the death toll is this many people died here. This was all of these things going on. And I was like, we got to start living and taking care of us. And moms have to stop feeling guilty.
mhm.
On my birthday, girl, I bought myself a nice birthday gift. I think I might have
Come
bought
on.
her. And
Mhm.
then look, these right here, I bought these just because.
And those are beautiful. I've been looking at them.
Thank you. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I bought myself some earrings. And then I bought
Mm-hmm.
myself presents because I was that same way. Oh, as long as, and the kids even ask, Mom, what do you want for this? And Mommy, what do you want? Oh, y'all, all I want is for y'all to be happy. And I was like, let me drop that. That's a lie.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Me first.
be first so that
That's
you
it.
can
Mm-hmm.
show up happy, whole, and
That's
full
it.
and
Mm-hmm.
not resentful of things. Because we might say, like, oh, yeah, don't worry about me. But it hurts a little bit when ain't nothing for you, when nobody's thought of you. So you got to think of you first. So you won't be sitting there, like somebody stole your bike. You ain't had nothing under the tree. So that in itself, it just made a difference with
Right.
that, and not feeling
Mhm.
guilty. And then talking to, this is what one of my other friends was saying. She said, you know what? She said, I used to feel so bad about doing stuff like, leaving to just go for a walk. And I was the same way when my kids were small. If I had a nail appointment and they would be crying at the door, whatever, I would feel guilty the whole time I'm at the nail shop. I'm just not even enjoying it because I'm ready to get back home. And I'm like, where did that come from? I really don't even know where that mentality came from, where we feel like we, can't be free. Because that's one thing I noticed about my ex-husband. When he was going to play ball or go do something, he just strolled on out like it was nothing. He'd come back feeling good.
Honey, leave like it's not a family here.
Men are good at that. And I see that in my sons too. They're good at just like, hey, it ain't nothing personal against you, but I'm going over here to do blah blah. Women leave with so much, like we just, oh, are they gonna make it while I'm gone? They crying, they calling me, they texting me, mommy, when you coming home? They never did their dad like that. And I said, so I gotta retrain these little kiddos to let me have some time, just like you do for daddy, because we fall into the trap.
We sure do. We sure do.
I hear your fur baby back there.
Ugh, I'm so sorry.
No, 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 you're fine. You are fine. This show is called Because Life Can Be a Niche, because this is about real life. So if the dog is barking, let the dog bark. We gonna be all right. We heard a dog bark before.
I
That
am
is
so sorry.
good.
I think they got him quiet. So
That
yeah,
is not a
I think my
problem at
sister is
all.
quieting him down now.
I wanted to ask you too, because you said that writing is healing
Yeah.
for you, and this is still very fresh because I mean we're just in 2021. So how long has it been since you've been divorced?
Oh, I am not divorced.
Okay, okay,
And that's
okay,
because my name is Crystal and those are the things that happened to me. So my lawyer was unable to locate my ex.
okay,
They put a PI on the case. They did everything that they could, and they were unable to locate him.
okay,
Well, he decided that he wanted to write a letter to the judge, and then the judge noticed that he had a PO box. So as I was in the hearing to get my divorce back in May of 2 months ago,
mm-hmm.
that's when the that's when the judge asked my attorneys had they been sending everything to his PO box, and their answer was no. And he said, well, that's what you're gonna have to do. And he denied my divorce, and we had to start all over again.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
My God. Yep. Yes. Yeah. And that's
girl,
because
this
my name is
podcast took
Crystal.
a whole nother
And this
direction.
is what happens to me. This is what happens to me. So that's what that too can happen, people, if they don't, I mean, just cooperate. But so I'm still in the process. As
Okay.
I'm still in the process. I had to literally start all over again.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah.
Does
Mhm.
that mean like financially you have to pay more money or
No, because this was a mess up on their end.
okay.
But I just have to start all over again. Yeah. So yeah.
And it's not easy. Is it so
No.
when you say he just left, you meant literally
Oh
and
yeah.
figuratively.
Mhm.
He literally is just like, I'm done.
In the wind. I hadn't seen. I don't.
Mm.
I hadn't seen him. So
Is
yeah.
he in Georgia or is he not even,
I
you don't
can.
know
No,
where he
I
is?
can't. I can't answer any of that. I don't. And it's not because I don't want to. It's because I can't answer those questions. I don't
Right.
know. I don't know. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a whole show right there. And it's
If you ever want me back on, let me know how the ratings go for this one. And I will
yeah.
come back.
Girl, people go, the inquiring minds go on, and they'll be like, "Did Crystal ever get her?"
I will come back. I will come back for sure. You let me know.
Well, that was leading into my question, but I'm still gonna ask it anyway.
Go ahead.
So, how is your healing going? Because I was going to say, now that you're divorced, even though it's very fresh still, how how is your healing through that? But let's just put it this way: how are you healing? Right.
Writing, my village. I'm actually putting my time and my effort into Normalize Healing, which is an organization that I've started for just healing out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And helping my daughter and I actually were over in Four Seasons in Atlanta. We went to Thomasville Heights and passed out drinks and snacks and everything for the summertime, just trying to give back and help. I have my t-shirt line that I've started, Hustling and Healing and Normalized Healing. And then I also have I basically my pair of my mugs, my shirts, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm having a back to school drive where I just want to fill up about maybe just 5 backpacks and
Yeah.
just give out to families in need who need
Mhm.
back to school supplies, because this year as a school teacher I know it's no joke. It's no more virtual this and virtual that. They coming
Right.
back.
Yes, that's right. Girl, I'm sending mine with bells on, mask with bells.
Here they come. And then and
It
these
will be
babies
up
are
there.
gonna need supplies. So I'm doing a supply drive where I just want to fill up just 5 book bags with supplies for kids. So
Mhm.
I'm healing out loud. I'm not
Yeah,
holding it in anymore. I'm not
right.
just going to do this by myself. I'm going to let all of this pain, all of this anger, and I'm not in pain, I'm angry. I'm mad. But I'm going to just put it into doing good, because
Yeah,
I could walk around and take a gun and do something, but that's not what I want to do. That's not how you work things out. That's not what you do,
right.
and the way that you do it is you go and help somebody else. And
I
so
love
that's what
it.
my focus is. That's what my
I
focus is. I just want to
love
help
it.
other people and let
Yeah,
them know that it's okay for you to heal out loud. It's okay for you to walk away. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to think differently of you. And if they do, then they need to walk away as well.
right. That's right. It's not
Yeah,
nobody's hurt from nobody ever died from walking away. Not
that's
not
it.
that I've seen.
Yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
I love that. And I love that you're giving back. And you can count on, because life can be a niche. We're going to help with your drive and
Oh, thank
definitely
you.
support that. But we're going to tell the people
Yes.
about that too. So that'll be in the show notes. And we're going to put that when we tag you, we'll tag your organization
Thank you.
and get all of this together, because I
I
love
appreciate it.
I love that. We get
Thank
absolutely. That's a beautiful way, Crystal, to look at what made you out of all of this. What made you say, "Now let me do something for somebody else."
Like I said, when I started writing and people
Mhm.
started replying to my blog,
Mhm.
that it helped them. And I think it was one girl that said, "Girl, why were you living in my marriage?" And I was
Mm.
like, wow. I mean, we were literally just swapping notes.
Right.
uh,
Yes.
I mean, we were just swapping notes. And it was
Right.
like, sis, this what you going through? Yeah, girl, this is what I did. I said, same. She was like,
Mhm.
same. And like, it was one of those situations where I was just like, she can't be the only one.
No. Mm-mm.
So yeah. So and I kept healing out loud.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I love that. Normalize
healing.
healing, because
Hmm.
people want to normalize everything, but
Right.
so why not let healing be the one of
Hmm.
the first things? Then you don't have to normalize all this other stuff. If you're
I
healed,
absolutely. If we
you
can
don't
just
have to
heal.
worry about that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
I
getting
love
ready to
that.
meet my sister.
Yes, please bring my Sarah on.
Handling some business. She said 1 second.
Because
It's no
that's
telling what those girls done got into. Oh Lord. Oh Lord, have mercy.
I love it. Crystal, this has been such a blessing
Oh
and
my God,
so
she is a huge
wonderful talking to
blessing.
you.
A
Oh,
huge blessing. This is my sister Amani. Amani, this is Katie.
hey,
Hi.
Sarah. Oh, you got look, she got on the shirt. How you doing,
I know. I just happen to have it on. I have to represent everywhere I go.
Oh, I love it. I
Nice to
love
meet
it.
you.
Nice to meet you too. And your sister has told me already how you stepped in and have just been a
Yeah.
blessing. I love that. I wish I had siblings, but your relationship and what you've done, Sarah, I mean, just giving you your flowers now. God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
I
That is
appreciate that, Sarah.
so
Thank
wonderful.
you. Thank you
You're
so much. And thank
you're
you for
welcome.
giving her a platform too.
Oh my God, this is so important. This
Yeah.
has got people have to know about normalized healing. People have got to get into it, and we got to stop walking around with these secrets
Mhm.
and these wonderful, glamorous posts on social media
Amen.
and start telling the truth so somebody else can be helped out.
Yeah, because you're gonna kill yourself trying to keep up with that same
Mm,
post that you put instead of just
exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
broken. I need help.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. So true. But we're
Mhm.
gonna stop that, and we're gonna tell these young people when what you see on social media.
Yes, I just got through saying it to my niece. I just
Oh
got
my
to say that to
God,
her.
that
They,
is so
they
untrue.
want
That's
you.
not reality.
No,
It is.
no.
It is not reality, and you can have the prettiest pictures and the most framed up stuff, but if it's Hades and hell going on behind the scenes,
Yes.
then those pictures mean they're doing
They
nothing but
mean
out here
nothing.
fooling other
That's
people,
it.
Yeah.
thinking and
Mm-hmm.
why. So no,
Mhm.
we're gonna stop that though. We're gonna start
And
a
I can't help
movement.
it, but I'm distracted by these earrings too
Oh my God,
because
she
they're
bought them for
gorgeous.
herself.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
gave myself a gift. Actually, I got two more pair. I got a red pair
They
for my
are
Delta
gorgeous.
shirt
So where
and
did
a
you get them from, KD?
Macy's, and they had them on sale for like 70% off.
No.
That's
Yep,
why I
that's
got
Macy's.
free pair.
That's Macy's. I just got a yeah, girl. I just got out of there getting my dress.
Yeah.
Yes. And they had jewelry for sale, and I was like, no. Walk away.
You
Walk
would have
away.
found those that she got on. Oh, they're
Less
beautiful.
than
Gorgeous.
$20. Black, red, and then the silver pair.
Woo!
Wow.
Dude, I'm ready.
I know those red ones look good on you, Sarah. I know they look good
I
on
went,
something, honey.
that was the first pair I bought.
Yeah,
Everywhere I
I
go, every
know.
time I go to the
That's
party,
the
they're
first
like,
color we see.
Macy's for $12.
Yes,
Whoa, $12.
I love it.
I
I love a good
it.
sale.
Ooh, thank you. Yes, I started buying stuff for me.
Yep.
If I can buy
Yep.
for everybody else, I can
I
buy
told her
one
about
more something
Christmas
for me.
sister, about how at Christmas time I was just watching the girls open
Yeah.
presents, and sister was like, "Sister," and I was like,
She
"As long
sound like
as
an old lady laughing, sitting on the porch.
as long as the kids are happy," and she's like,
No.
sister. So I told Katie, I said, "It's gonna be stuff under the tree for myself this year."
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You ain't gotta wait till Christmas. Shoot.
No. Look,
This is every day.
let them have a jewelry sale going on. I'll
Girl,
come over the bag in a
I
minute.
love some accessories.
Oh, Lord. So yes,
Because
thank
it
you,
makes
Katie.
such a difference. But I just want to say thank you, thank you. Bless you for
Thank
sharing
you.
your story. Thank you, Sarah, for holding my sister up while she is
Absolutely.
just going through and coming out stronger. Girl, keep writing. I'm telling you, Crystal, it's a book.
Okay, thank you.
It's a
I
book.
received
It's a
that.
book. Absolutely. It is definitely a book or a journal. It's something
Something.
that's going to help somebody else start learn
Mhm.
to write and start healing too, so we can normalize it.
That's it. Yeah.